Hi everybody, this is Mr Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. Here we all are together again for another sift through my ever-growing pile of email questions and comments concerning the English language and my work here on the internet. So without any more playing for time or hanging about, let's have our first question for today. Could you explain the differences between all, them, lots and more? This question was sent in by Renee Darit, who lives in the Philippines. All tends to relate to the total quantity, to include everything or everyone. All the houses are complete. I have put all my money in the bank. All can mean everything or the only thing. You are all I need. In the poetic sense, we may say, you are my all. Them relates to a group or more than one thing. You are pointing out or singling a group. It wasn't me who did it, it was them. This word does not show a quantity, just that there are two or more. It is common for people to confuse the words them with those and they. It is wrong to say them houses are for sale, and we definitely never say them people stole my car. Them also relates to something already identified within a sentence. These houses are old and derelict. We must demolish them. The word lots in its general form means many. Again, it does not relate to an exact quantity, but we do know that it is more than a few. We may also express many as a lot. This expresses a large number or quantity. There were lots of people at my party. A lot of people came to my party. Many people came to my party. The word more in its general use means extra or additional. You add extra on. You add more. You want more. More houses are needed here. We can express an increase with more. Bread costs more than it did a year ago. We can express an increase in speed and change. The economy is growing more quickly than before. A nice email. Whoa! 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 I'm a big ferocious dinosaur and I'm going to eat you up. I have received some very nice emails recently, including this one from Kai in Vietnam, who watches my video lessons at the rate of one per day. Kai asks what my official Facebook page name is. Well, my personal Facebook page is Duncan James, which also happens to be the name of a young guy from a British boy band called Blue. So please do not get too excited. You have to look for this face as the icon. Ooh. If you see that, then you have found me. Thank you, Kai, for your email, and I look forward to seeing you and anyone else who wants to join me over there on Facebook very soon. Another nice email. I have received another nice email, this time from Darwood Khan, who comes from Afghanistan, but is now staying in India. Darwood writes to thank me for my video lessons and asks how a person with little or no money can learn English. This is not an easy question to answer in a few sentences, but I will try. As we live in a world where information is easier to obtain, you would think that there would be many places where free online education can be found. Sadly, at the moment, this is not so. Many direct language teaching sites will charge for their services, and others using Skype will also charge for their time. This can very often run into hundreds of dollars. Having said that, there are many free online dictionaries and small independent teaching sites that are slowly springing up on the internet. The problem with running this sort of service is that it usually takes up a great deal of time, and normally that time must be paid for in some way. This is one of the reasons why I make these videos and post them on the internet for free. They are here for all to watch. Thanks to the growing number of net bars and internet cafes, it is now easier and cheaper to get online. I'm a big believer in the educational power of the internet. This is why I say my lessons are aimed at everyone, regardless of location, age or status. Let us not forget the social network sites such as Facebook, where there are now many online groups and study forums, with people joining them from all over the world to each share their experience of learning English with other members. Another idea would be to try and find a local English corner. Some schools hold English discussion groups, and English corners can be found almost anywhere. If there is not one near you, then why not set up your own? I hope this has been helpful to you, Dawood, and I wish you and your family back in Afghanistan all the best. What are the rules for using a and an before a word? This question was sent in by Rayuf, who lives in Saudi Arabia. The rules of English are often confusing, and this particular one is no exception. In most formal English, the letter a can only precede a word beginning with a consonant, while an may only be used before a word starting with a vowel. However, this has not always been the case. In Old English, the letter H was not pronounced as clearly as it is today. For example, hotel, historical, or hundred. So an could be used before words beginning with H. Even today there are people who still use an before certain words starting with the letter H. However, this is becoming less common. So the basic rules stay the same. If the word begins with a consonant, it is a, and if the word starts with a vowel, then it is an. It's that time again. Yes, it's the moment you have all been waiting for. Well, not you, or you, or you. But you have, haven't you? Yes, you have.
It's the word of the week.
This week's word is precedent. This word means to stand as an example or to be an example. We often use this word when a rule or law is introduced or reinterpreted. We set a precedent. An example or a new example has been created. This word is often confused with president, which means leader or head of state. Synonyms of precedent include example, model, guide, and standard. Another nice email. I have received another nice email, this time from Svetlana, watching in Russia. In the email, Svetlana asks if it would be possible for me to make some lessons about synonyms and show how they can be used. Well, that is a good idea, as quite a few words in English have similar meanings but are sometimes used in different ways. There are also some direct questions contained in this email, such as, what should I say if I accidentally step on another person's foot? Ow. Well, there are a few sentences you can use. You could say, oh, I'm very sorry, or, oh, excuse me, I didn't see you, or, oh, I'm sorry, are you okay? As long as you offer some sort of apology, then it should not cause any real problem. Maybe in the future I could make a lesson about politeness. What do you think? A good idea? Or not? A special hello. I would like to send a special hello to George Labra, who follows my video lessons in Chile. Thank you for your thoughtful words and your big thank you to me. I am glad to hear that my lessons have been useful to you. Of course, Chile has been heavily featured in the news right around the world recently, with the rescue of the Chilean miners, who until last Wednesday had been trapped underground for the past 2 months. It is so nice to see and to hear some happy news for a change, don't you think? A big hello to George, and a special hello to everyone watching in Chile. A boastful idiom. If a person likes to show off or seems too proud of his or her achievements and always wants to talk about them, then we might call them a big head. We may say that their head is too big to go through the door. Calling someone a big head is always used negatively. He or she is so big-headed. What a big head! How can I learn common words used in English? And when should I use synonyms? This question was sent in to me by Max, who lives in Hong Kong. The answer to this question is not so hard to give. There is no standard level of English in everyday speech. For example, just because a person speaks English as their native language does not mean that they are completely fluent in the language. A person's grasp of synonyms can vary from one individual to another. There are no rules as to how many synonyms you should know or use. The guidelines are not set in stone. However, informal chat tends to be relaxed, and because of this, the word usage tends to be simple. It would seem that the more formal the speech is, then the more extravagant you should be with your word usage. But this is not always so. Many words in the English language have multiple uses and many synonyms to go with them. A thesaurus is a great tool for discovering these variations. In this useful book you will find commonly used words and their synonyms, plus how they can be used in different situations. If you find something tedious, do not be afraid to say so. It means the same thing as boring or dull, so there is no harm in using it. In human nature, we often feel threatened or intimidated by people who know many synonyms and enjoy using them. Some see it as a sign of high intellect, while others see it as pure arrogance. Your response to my latest lesson. I have received a few emails from students in response to my latest lesson, which I filmed in Turkey. Jessie in Australia is interested in becoming an English teacher and writes to say how enjoyable my lesson in Turkey was. Yes, I did have a great time there, and I agree with you that travelling is fun. I still remember the first time I ever travelled abroad. It was such an exciting thing to do. I was 26 years old when I first went overseas, and as you are only 21, Jessie, you have plenty of time to go off and explore the world for yourself. Rafael Santos writes from Brazil to compliment me on my lesson in Turkey as well, and tells me how much he enjoyed watching it. Rafael asks if I have ever taken any video making courses. Well, the answer to that is no. I have never attended any video editing or filmmaking courses ever. I first became interested in video making in the late 1990s, but back then it was a very expensive hobby. Now, thanks to modern digital technology, I have been able to teach myself how to do it. At the end of this month, it will be 4 years since I began making videos here on YouTube, and as long as you all want them, I will continue making them. For another 4 years? For another 40 years? Who knows? Before I wrap up here today, I would like to say a special hello to all those who have joined me on Facebook and here on YouTube. This is such a long list. Mickey, Mai, Pepe, Jenny, Tran, Augustine, Ahmed, Milu, Bruce, Karina, Armina, Simone, Robinson, Stefania, Hutra, Haji, Jenny, Dua Yusuf, and all the many others as well. Thank you also for all of the kind messages concerning my latest lesson in Turkey and your suggestions as to where I should film a future lesson. Maybe Egypt, perhaps Brazil, or could it be Vietnam? Who knows? Even I do not know yet. That is all from me for this week. Keep sending in your questions and comments, and of course those special hellos too. And who knows, next time I could be saying hi to you. This is Mr. Duncan in England saying thank you for watching me answering you. And of course, ta-ta for now.
Mm.